Step beyond the threshold and the ancient Minoan bronze foundry greets you with a heat that knocks the breath from your lungs. This is not a place of beauty, but a forge of blades, axes and gods. The furious glow of molten metal flickers in the shadows, casting ghostly figures against the walls as hammers clatter relentlessly, the air alive with fireborn roars. Here survival is measured by one's ability to endure searing smoke and the bitter taste of metal on the tongue. This is a realm where each shift demands sacrifice, crafting tools for eternity, while the very air conspires against every breath you take. Welcome to the crucible of bronze and your unending test of resilience. Step into the world where the gods of fire and metal hold court, where the air crackles with energy and the ground vibrates underfoot. As dawn breaks upon the ancient Minoan foundry, the morning air seems to tremble with anticipation. Within these gates lies your destiny, a day within the relentless fires that demand respect, skill, and endurance. Here, raw earth is transformed into revered artifacts, if the trials of heat allow. Crossing the threshold, the transformation begins, not just for copper and tin, but for you as well. Under the watchful eye of the forge's guardian, you enter the fire-marked gloom, your senses assaulted by the roar of flames and metal. The air is thick, alive with hammering and the relentless rhythm of labour. This symphony of chaos pounds against you, an unending cadence of hammers meeting anvils, punctuated by the urgent calls of labourers and the ominous growl of the furnace. Heat envelops you like a predatory beast, oppressive and unforgiving. It assaults without mercy, filling your lungs with scorching air. This is not merely warmth, it is a living force, demanding obeisance and promising transformation. Sweat is immediate, drenching your skin and salting your tongue, as though the fire extracts its due for allowing you within its domain. In this cauldron of industry, you are not alone. The foundry is alive with brawny figures, each moving in practiced precision, their skills honed by necessity and survival. Bonds form in this inferno, tempered by shared struggle and whispered fears. Yet within these walls, hierarchy reigns. Experienced craftsmen guide the flow, their eyes etched with tales of mastery and caution, hinting at both triumph and the cost of failure. You grasp your tools, hammers, tongs, moulds, each vibrating with the legacy of countless hands. These instruments are extensions of your will, singing with their own voices. Mastery of them is crucial, a fine line between creation and destruction, as the elements obey only the adept. Grainy handles worn smooth by toil speak of the many who have come before and the skill they bequeathed. Metallurgy here feels akin to dark alchemy, a dance of science, sorcery, and art. The transformation from raw ore to gleaming metal holds a mystery that demands respect. You wield knowledge passed through generations, a legacy of triumph and defeat, balancing copper and tin in a dance of temperature and time. The joy of success is a hard-won prize, the alchemy complete only with patience and precision. Within the foundry's fiery embrace, you serve as both creator and custodian of civilization's tools. Each blade, axe, or idol crafted bears potential power, myth-bound in metal, destined to influence realms. Through them, history's narratives unfold, fueled by glory and echoed by ruin. As you pause before pouring, consider the weight of these objects in the annals of time, a legacy whose permanence outlives flesh and bone. Yet, the furnace extracts its toll. Muscles scream with exertion, veins throb in time with the labour's weight, and the spirit strains beneath unyielding expectation. Scars mark the flesh, a testament to the struggle against the flame's scorched breath. It is the invisible toil, the tireless erosion of soul and spirit, which haunts the nights and clouds the days. With each shift, sight is often the first casualty, cataracts forming from the eternal glare. Sleep eludes as dreams echo with the forge's insistence. A reminder that here, endurance requires both strength and surrender, acceptance that fate and flame are inseparable. Whispers of cautionary tales circulate amidst the crew, of accidents and futures uncertain, urging vigilance and respect. As the day draws to a close, the heat's intensity diminishes, its memory lingering within your bones. The relics of today's labour, the spearheads, daggers and ceremonial vases, remain untouched by time, symbols of artistry and endurance. Looking back at the Foundry, the duality is clear. A place birthing beauty and despair, its legacy undying. Each shift leaves an indelible mark on the soul, an echo of the eternal struggle to mould the transient into permanence. This is where ambition and reality converge, where dream meets fire. In this intersection of aspiration and survival, you find yourself a part of a timeless continuum, shaping both the mundane and the immortal amidst the furnace's unyielding grip. In the choking heart of the ancient Foundry, smoke breathes out like a dragon's cold breath. It swirls around with a life of its own, a pungent concoction of burning wood, animal fats, and volatile metals. The charcoal fires, essential for reaching the temperatures to melt copper and tin, fill the air with a heavy, biting presence that invades your senses. Breathing becomes an ordeal, each inhalation scratching your throat and filling your lungs with the ghosts of fire and metal. Workers cough into their arms, their eyes watering as they press on, navigating the blurred shapes within the haze. This toxic atmosphere is a punishment as real as any inflicted by the grueling labour. Surviving in this setting demands a mastery of its harsh rhythms. You come to learn the dance, to pace your steps, synchronise your breath with the steady roar of the furnaces. Yet even the most seasoned hands suffer, as the impurities hang in the air like an unshakable curse. Words pass silently between men, in glances and subtle grimaces. They endure because they must, and the fires are merciless to the fragile. Taste, too, is captured by this environment. A metallic tang sits perpetually on the tongue, whether you are licking chapped lips or swallowing from a beaten water skin. Copper's sharpness and tin's bitterness keep you company long after the fires dim, intertwining with your dreams, a spectral residue of a day's toil. Water does little to wash this phantom taste away. In moments of exertion, a misplaced breath draws in a cloud of smoke, leaving a worker choking on the bitter, heavy flavours that cling to the air. This taste, some believe, is the god's way of humbling those who dare to smelt their ores, a reminder of the price of survival paid in sweat and iron. And sweat there is, running freely as testament to labour, unrelenting. It pours with each stroke of the hammer, each intake of scorching air. Clothes saturate, sticking to skin as the heat drains moisture from the body. Yet sweat counts as a gift too, keeping a man from collapsing under the oppressiveness of such conditions. Amidst this liquid chaos, the Foundry hides other secrets. The fat-rendered smoke from animal bones, used to line the moulds, sends its greasy plumes into the mix. It's a scent that signals transformation. From beast to blade, flesh to force, this heady aroma marks the union of life and death, a death turned practical as each tool takes shape. The workers, knowingly or not, partake in rituals as old as the legends surrounding them. In the stench of burning tallow, they become both priests and devotees, invoking the spirit of the forge, tying flesh and metal in a sacred contract renewed with every casting session. The fumes cloud more than air. They besiege the mind with creeping chaos. Slowly, the bones of consciousness wear thin, until the room and its inhabitants seem to blur together. Clarity comes and goes like flickers of light, moments when tasks can be managed with precision before the fog threatens focus and sanity cracks. This disorientation is insidious, taking hold silently until a stumble or misplaced tool warns of its presence. Amid this chaos, camaraderie emerges as the secret currency. Workers lean on each other in this battle against madness, sharing stability through knowing glances and supportive gestures, for they understand that even the strongest man can falter here. In this sweltering crucible, heat becomes a beast of its own. It distorts the air into phantoms and myths, making spectres of men and shadows of their figs. Workers entertain these visions cautiously, aware of the peril hidden in this beguiling trickery of heat-wrought deception. Elders share tales of lost comrades seen in the flame's edge, and the sway of heat becomes not just a spectacle, but a challenge to sanity itself, another reality to navigate in the forge's domain. Survival here is as much a mental feat as a physical one, testing the very edges of human endurance. Traditions passed down through whispers and habits become essential in maintaining resilience. They form the stories and tokens of protection, tangible reminders of safety. These charms and rituals, blessed over time, forge unseen links amongst the men, instilling a pride in their ability to work amidst these punishing conditions. Ironically, the very act of enduring wears them thin, yet shapes an unyielding inner strength. The forge remains a paradox of wealth and poverty, where metal fortunes are crafted by those who see none of its splendours, their toil producing treasures that outlast their own days. The axes and implements forged will endure, bearing witness to a legacy unseen by the labourers who remain cloaked in their own smoke, their sacrifices etched forever into the metallic testament of the world they once knew. The journey of copper and tin from the rugged peaks of Crete and lands beyond is as arduous as it is essential. Imagine the scene. Long processions of beasts of burden, weighed down by heavy sacks of raw minerals, navigate perilous paths. Each sack is a promise of wealth for the Foundry, but an ordeal for those who bear them. The atmosphere teems with tension. Every step on these rocky trails threatens disaster or injury. The caravanners, often children or seasoned elders, seek the mountain spirit's favour. They pause at ancient shrines, offerings in hand, praying for safe passage and mercy from the untamed landscape. The mountain's winds, indifferent and relentless, are harsh teachers. Upon reaching the Foundry, workers, faces slick with sweat and anticipation, unload the ore under the shadow of towering structures. The scent of the mountains clings to the stones, a reminder of nature's enduring power. Workers with calloused hands and weathered skin exchange stories of past treks, tales of comrades lost to landslides or overcome by cruel seasons. These stories, living legends, shape their community's psyche, binding them to their land and trade. The journey of the ore becomes both a rite of passage and a logistical necessity. As the first light of day pierces the Foundry's grimy walls, the real labour begins. Cold, solid ore transforms from mere rock into potential bronze for deities and warriors. Muscles, already taught from past efforts, begin the relentless task of breaking down the ore. Stone hammers rise and fall in a symphony of survival and ambition, echoing against grimy walls. Faces contort with every strike as stones yield, splitting like shells under an unyielding tide. The air pulses with noise, drowning thought, merging man with duty. Amidst the scattered fragments lie sharp edges, hungry for skin. The workers' hands, scarred from previous skirmishes, begin to bleed anew, thin crimson lines mingling with the grey dust underfoot. It is a brutal ballet, each worker's rhythm a testament to endurance. Exhaustion always hovers at the periphery, ready to claim those who falter. Yet the promise within each shattered rock, the gleam of future weapons and ornaments, propels them forward. Man harnesses earth, paying a tribute of blood, sweat, and toil. Within the Foundry's expanse, the clanging hammers create an immersive soundscape, a relentless chorus of industry. Each swing is a note, each pause, a rest. The workers move instinctively to this unforgiving beat, their guides and their chains. Interspersed are flute tunes or mournful chants, flickers of humanity amid the mechanical grind. They speak of lives outside, dreams moulded differently. These songs connect the present toil with a tradition, reminders of lineage in the continuum of time. This rhythmic roar is not just noise, it is a tapestry of history and culture, interwoven with past echoes and future anticipation. From sunrise to sunset, workers endure a trial of physical and mental endurance. Rest, a fleeting luxury, divides their day not by the sun but by energy's ebb and flow. They live for brief respites, gulps of water, shared stories that refresh the spirit if not the body. Skin toughened like tools, they push human capabilities' boundaries, testing will against stone. Each must balance speed with caution. A single misstep could maim. Here teamwork saves. Each worker becomes vital. They lean on each other, share advice and burdens when needed. Survival and success mould them into a single purpose, a camaraderie born of adversity. The monotonous rhythm echoes within the Foundry, revealing the toll on workers. Hands become canvases of raw skin and fresh scars. Blood gathers under nails, seeps into the porous stone floor, demanding tribute. Yet these workers are soldiers, each wound a badge of honour, each callous evidence of battle. They accept this as the cost of creating something greater, the weapons and tools defining their civilization's power. Their blood courses through the bronze, imbuing it with life drawn from human sacrifice, a living testament to struggle and resilience. Flesh is fragile, yet the metal endures. Beyond physical demands, the mental challenge is daunting. Constant noise, heat, and precision demand intense focus. The mind strains under pressure. Distraction ruins materials or lives. Workers compartmentalise fear, focusing on hammer rhythm, strike angles, metal's glint. Stress manifests in flaring tempers, yet among grim determination, an intuitive understanding emerges. Amidst chaos, an unconscious meditation takes over. The sound of metal shaping stone becomes a lullaby, soothing overwrought minds. Workers' minds forge resilience like metal amidst ceaseless demands. The simple tools, hammers, chisels, rudimentary picks, wielded by the ancient workers, are profound in their simplicity and effectiveness. Each swing demands calculation, testing forces boundary and finesse. Revered as partners in toil, these tools reflect the care and skill honed by experience, shaping the workers into artisans. Marked with wear from countless endeavours, these implements witness the legacy of labour as they transform primitive ore into commodities driving the Bronze Age economy. With every action, These silent partners carve history into the very fabric of bronze they help create, leaving an indelible mark on time. In the heart of the Foundry, the furnace stands as a living entity, relentless in its demand for fuel and attention. Stacks of charcoal, bones, and other remnants are swallowed by its fiery appetite, mirroring a society consumed by its quest for power and survival. The furnace, a gift, or perhaps a curse from the gods, binds its tenders with both blessings and burdens. Here, in the relentless dance of flame and shadow, your connection with the furnace becomes intimate, defined by the relentless task of keeping this massive heart beating. The Foundry calls its workers before dawn, when the world is wrapped in darkness. Charcoal, the lifeblood of this place, fuels the alchemical process that morphs raw ore into metal. It all begins far from the fire's roar, in the forested hills where labourers reduce timber to charcoal, transforming ancient oaks and pines into fuel. Their work, essential yet invisible, ensures the flames remain hungry, perpetually consuming the forest's bounty and leaving blackened trails across the land. The Foundry's unending appetite guarantees that the cycle continues, linking nature's grand creations with man's insatiable ambitions. Into this world step the bellows operators, performers in a timeless ritual. They wield instruments crafted from goat hides and wood, breathing life into the forge and coaxing its temperature to metal liquefying heights. The rhythm of their craft is a mesmerizing dance, requiring synchronization and strength. The wrong tempo could mean disaster, turning control into chaos and endangering everyone near the flames. Without words, they communicate through nods and gestures, each operator bonded by the shared strain of labour and the silent threat of the searing heat. A waiting crucible, heavy with the promise of transformation, endures its fiery trial. Within its clay walls, copper, tin, and trace elements blend into molten bronze, selecting the right materials and guiding the crucible through its ordeal demands skill sharpened to the keenest edge. As the searing heat assails its surface, the crucible becomes a vessel of creation, its bubbling contents shaped by hands honed through generations. Not mere lifeless materials, but embodiments of ancient tales and trials. Their creation binds you to a legacy far older than anyone can recount. The relentless heat permeates every fibre, piercing muscle and bone, testing human endurance beyond measure. Protection is sparse, leaving skin to bear burns and arms to shimmer with the glow of exertion. In the face of this inferno, camaraderie forms a shield, as workers craft unspoken bonds through stories of survival, lending strength where none might otherwise exist. The heat becomes a teacher, an elemental force that forges endurance, and etches marks deeper than skin. Within moments, you meld with the very fabric of the furnace, your pulse aligning with its crackling rhythm. Legends of those consumed by the flame linger as a harrowing reminder of the force that wields life and death in equal measure. Yet from these flames emerges solidarity, a kinship built on courage and shared trials, stitching together narratives of resilience that withstand the test of both fire and time. The art of tending this fire is one of nuance and precision, each flame flickering with tales that whisper secrets beyond mere heat. Mastery is earned through deep apprenticeship and acute awareness, where even the subtlest change in temperature or scent can decide success or failure. Treated with reverence, the fire writes its own enigmatic mythology, guiding the hands that shape ephemeral metal into enduring history. Intuition becomes second nature, drawing you into an ancient dialogue that transcends spoken word. Bearing the weight of responsibility, within this infernal dance is more than just labour. It is a duty steeped in an unbroken tradition. With every motion and every breath of bellows, a silent oath is upheld, deepening the narrative of perseverance inscribed within the stone walls and metal forms. The rhythm of metallic music underscores the duty shared by all, a collective endeavour shaping not just metal, but history itself. The flames teach harsh lessons, their power marking not just the flesh, but the psyche. Each inhalation of smoke sears understanding into your being, transforming anguish into experience. Bonds form amid the glow, uniting workers across skill levels, crafting rare alliances that endure long past the flicker of flame. These stories of triumph and near defeat cultivate ties that persist after the shadows swallow the embers. In embracing these elemental lessons, you find resilience tempered by reverence. Among the flickering fires, this ancient foundry becomes a shrine, where firelight guides hands in eternal cycles of creation. You stand woven into this place of mythology and metal, forever tied to the ceaseless movement between fury and calm, growth and decay, knowing that, like the bronze shaped here, your tale too will endure across ages, as both a chapter in history and a whisper in the flames. Ein Matem. In the heart of the foundry, where the air trembles with heat and anticipation, you stand poised to undertake a task as ancient as it is dangerous. In your hands lies the crucible, heavy with molten bronze, a turbulent, shimmering river of fire that you must control with unerring precision. This moment, defining every ounce of your hard-earned skill and focus, demands a dance as intricate as any choreographed on stage. You guide the fiery liquid, each movement a testament to years of learning to tame the chaos within the crucible. The heat bites your palms, yet amidst the clamour and shadow, your concentration never wavers. Pouring bronze becomes a collective endeavour, reliant on shared burdens and silent communications with fellow workers. As you tilt the crucible, the world narrows to the molten surface and the slender mould's lip. You are acutely aware that a single misstep could spell disaster. It's a graceful choreography, eked from countless days in the forge, transforming raw metal into objects of power and beauty. With each precise tilt, tension threads the heavy air, a reminder of the artist's role in this perilous craftsmanship. The fuming haze from the mould wraps around you as the bronze meets clay, each cloud of smoke a sensory challenge with hidden dangers. These fumes obscure vision, sting nostrils, and hang thickly around you like an unwanted cloak, but they must be navigated with both patience and perception. It's an endurance test, demanding a resilience honed through years of melding the senses with survival instincts. Amidst this swirling smog, you learn to read the shifting fog for signs, deciphering the thickness and scent for hidden warnings of mishaps yet to come. Pouring bronze is more than labour. It is a sacred transformation. This ritual of guiding elements into unity feels like alchemy, as you coax base materials into tools of purpose. Here, standing in the lineage of a craft older than empires, you connect deeply with history. The glowing alloy is not mere metal but a vessel of legacy, capable of outlasting you, imbued with meaning that every artisan hopes to capture. A spotlight on the timeless dialogue between creation and memory. Yet beneath the triumphs lingers the spectre of imperfection, hidden within the mould. Each clay form, crafted with diligence, becomes a tomb for your hours of effort, concealing flaws that might spell doom. One unblemished surface can betray you, a sudden hiss or splatter announcing failure the moment liquid meets hidden fractures. This gamble imparts respect for the whimsy of nature and fate, demanding a balance of faith in your skill and trust in your tools. Witnessing countless mishaps, you understand the delicate dance with uncertainty that every pour represents. The pole bearer, in this delicate ballet, is the guardian of precision. Every muscle tenses with the strain of ensuring perfect balance. Your role demands more than physical strength. It requires the mastery of sensory perception and instinctive communication with your peers. Each vibration through the pole, a potential omen, an alert to remain sharp in this dangerous collaboration. Composing the bronze alloy is no less critical than pouring. The choice and blend of copper and tin are an ancient art, a mystical balance known only to those schooled in this metallurgical symphony. The perfect mixture transforms function into elegant expression, defining whether the metal becomes a simple tool or a revered heirloom. It carries a legacy of its own, the alchemy of elements echoing through time, and its significance defines the craftsman's dedication deep in the fiery heart of creation. Survival in the forge depends greatly on your ability to anticipate. The finest artisans see the signs, subtle shifts in the air, or warmth, clues in the bronze's temperament, as they stand on guard against disaster. This art of anticipation is cultivated through shared tales of past tragedies, each story a whisper of danger, lurking in every pore, every crash of the forge like a heartbeat warning you to stay vigilant. Through the act of pouring, you ponder life's impermanence. Each crucible offers a meditation on time's fleeting nature, as liquid bronze bridges the gap between transience and permanence. This reflection on decay and creation fuels your resolve, reminding you of the cyclical journey from youth to age, chaos to calm. As the metal cools, its transformation is complete. Emerging from its clay cocoon, each artifact tells a story of labour and devotion, a testament to the synergy between artisan and creation. No longer molten chaos, the bronze takes form, bearing witness to the moments spent in its making, ensuring the craftsman's legacy, even as his name fades into the obscuring mists of time. In the forge you live among ghosts. Here belief and craft intertwine, their ethereal presence guiding your hands. These ancient spirits teach you to respect the craft's legacy, urging awareness of the boundaries where the seen meets the unseen. In their whispered counsel, you find companionship, a seamless thread through the shadows, a beacon softening the darkness of the forge, reminding you of the whispers that linger long into the night. In the flickering shadows of the ancient foundry, men gather, muscles tense, anticipation thrumming through their veins. The air is charged with expectation as the molten bronze reaches its culmination. This moment, poised between mastery and calamity, is the crucible of their labour. The molten metal glows with potential, an eternal testament waiting to take form. Each man is a cog in this grand mechanism, a community bound by the shared rhythm of their hearts, each thud echoing the weighty dance of creation. The forge's roar is a thunderous backdrop as liquid bronze arcs with precision, guided by hands steady as they are scarred. This scene is intimate, intense, a sacred communion where the world outside the foundry becomes a distant memory. The process is an art and science, demanding both strength and foresight. One misstep could unravel the symphony of effort, casting all into chaos. As the bronze flows into prepared moulds, silence descends. The world holds its breath, ensconced within this glowing vessel. The mould making, an art as old as the soil itself, plays a crucial act in this drama. Artisans, akin to priests in their devotion, craft these clay wombs with reverential care. Each mould is a story waiting to be born, a promise etched from earth to eternity. They fashion these delicate structures with a mix of skill and intuition, aware that any flaw, any misstep could turn promise into ruin. A reminder that perfection is an unending pursuit. In this enchanted world, spirits hover, invited or not, shaping the air with whispered invocations. Superstitions run deep, as integral to the process as the bronze itself. Rituals, chants, and offerings to capricious deities seek to secure blessings, a covenant made between the temporal and the eternal. Workers weave these incantations into the symphony, hoping to pacify any celestial patrons and avert disaster. Yet even here, where the tactile and the ethereal meet, the spectre of failure looms. Moulds not only hold the shape of metal, but the dreams of those who create it. Their breakings are physical and spiritual collapse, silencing the song of creation with a shattering dirge. The Foundry is an unforgiving place, a realm where mistakes echo. When moulds morph into tombs, hopes die silent deaths, swept away by the rhythm of relentless progress. Adversity and error, however, are but stepping stones to mastery. In the fiery cradle of the Foundry, resilience grows as vital as any skill honed. Each failure becomes a teacher, imparting lessons carved into muscle and memory. Craftsmen emerge tempered by these trials, wisdom hardening with each ordeal faced. This ancient alchemy shapes more than just metal. It refines character, weaving a tapestry of shared endeavours and silent resilience. The Foundry is an orchestra of human ingenuity, where every worker is a vital note in the melody of production. Each role is an unsung hymn in the larger composition, a testament to collaboration amid chaos. It is this unity, a singularity of purpose, that transforms raw elements into historical artifacts. This cohesion is neither given nor taken lightly. It's forged in the searing fire of necessity and camaraderie. In the collective stillness, they wait, their breath mingling with the cooling metal's soft song. Patience bears down as the bronze settles, gaining weight and definition, inching toward completion. As these moments stretch, stories are shared, whispers of old victories and past follies, memories spun into lessons like fibres into linen, rich with the understanding of their craft. Then the spell breaks with the release of the mould, and reality resumes its grip. The workers gather, anticipation mingling with dread, as they reveal the treasures concealed within. The surface shines, a reflection of their labour, triumph, or untold heartache mirrored in its gleam. Here, art and skill meet, small testaments of glory or gentle reminders of humility, bound forever in bronze. Beyond this immediate spectacle lies a deeper legacy. The weapons and artefacts crafted here transcend their utility, embarking on journeys through worship, battle, and history. These creations speak of a time where bronze defined empires, gods, and destinies. The eternal metal holds within its core the stories of the makers, an enduring lineage resonating through the annals of time. As the embers dim and the foundry quiets, reflection emerges, wrapping the workers in contemplation. The lessons of the day are the echoes of an ancient lineage, the Minoan legacy woven into each stroke of the hammer and every moulded cast. In this life of fire and earth, the makers and the made are intertwined, a dance of history, a forge where past and future converge. The Foundry is a testament to human endurance, where bronze and humanity forge onward, each shift an unspoken promise to time itself. In the ancient realm of the Minoans, the Foundry was more than a den of labour and industry. It was a place where fire reigned as a deity, demanding reverence and respect. This intense, crackling environment symbolised a divine force of destruction and creation, reflecting the mystical transformation of raw ore into tools of utility and symbols of power. To the labourers who toiled in its relentless heat, the furnace stood as an altar to the once worshipped forge god. Their every task was intertwined with ritual and prayer, suggesting a sacred cycle where labour transcended the physical to touch the spiritual. The furnace wasn't just a tool, it was a living entity. Before the day's work, workers engaged in silent rituals, whispering prayers to the forge god. Amidst the early morning stillness, this moment of meditation was a pact between man and deity, a trade of devotion for divine protection. Many believed these acts of reverence could temper the fire's ferocity, averting accidents, softening the harsh demands of the day. Throughout the noisy clatter of production, such spiritual acts continued as quiet reminders of the divine presence, guiding their hands and shielding their souls. The spiritual tapestry of the Foundry was woven with belief in a pantheon of deities, each holding sway over different aspects of their lives. Central among them was the forge god, blending the craftsmanship of Greek Hephaestus with the untamed nature of fire. But this celestial hierarchy extended beyond just one god, protectors of health, guardians of earthly metals. These lesser-known deities influenced daily routines, reminding workers of the divine balances in play. Here in the Foundry, sacred imagery danced in the firelight, whispering ancient guidance to those who dared to listen. Yet despite these devotions, the Foundry was a perilous place, teetering ever on the brink of calamity. Death was an omnipresent shadow, and rituals honouring fallen comrades served as sombre reminders of mortality's grip. The stories of those consumed by the flames lingered as collective memories, teaching new workers both fear and reverence. The line between life and death blurred against the backdrop of roaring fires, where survival depended as much on the favour of the gods as on one's own resilience. Superstition itself offered a bridge between the palpable dangers of the physical world and the ethereal realm of the divine. Taboos and tales interlaced with daily routines, whispering cautionary guidance into every crevice of the Foundry. A cracked mould might foretell the wrath of the forge god. A flicker in the flame could signify spirit warnings. Though seemingly contradictory to modern rationality, these beliefs offered a sense of order within the chaos, allowing workers a psychological refuge amid the relentless heat. In this environment where smelting heat and spiritual law melded, every action became a dance of ritual. Workers, bound by shared beliefs, moved with careful reverence, their steps guided by the rhythm of chants and the sway of traditions. Rituals varied, from circling the fire pit thrice to carrying a charm blessed by a local sage, each action a tether connecting them to both the earthly and divine. Through their adherence to myth and ritual, labourers found unity, fortifying themselves against the ever-present shadow of disaster. Collective ceremonies periodically punctuated the life of the Foundry, weaving individual practices into grand communal displays of worship. These elaborate rituals combined song, sacrifice, and sacred promise, strengthening the communal bonds that held the labourers together. Within these moments, the Foundry transformed from a workplace to a nexus of faith, echoing with ancient traditions designed to banish fear and reinforce a shared identity where each worker found sanctuary in shared belief. Amid the constant din of the Foundry, omens were read in the simplest of phenomena: a spark, a sound. These were interpreted as divine signs, carrying the weight of messages from unseen spirits. Offerings left amid the chaos demonstrated the worker's diligence to maintaining a delicate balance between material toil and the whims of fate. These small acts, which from the outside might seem futile, played a critical role in preserving mental equilibrium and providing a sliver of control over the unpredictable forces of nature. What ultimately empowered these workers was their ability to transmute the ever-looming dread of their dangerous occupation into a kind of resilience. Rituals and beliefs softened the edges of their fear, transforming the primal terror of fire into a meaningful testament of willpower and faith. Each man became an alchemist, not of metals alone, but of his destiny, shaping within the fires a new reality shared with gods both known and mysterious. Here their spirits were tempered as fiercely as any tool, strong, unyielding, and eternally bound to the forge that both nurtured and tested them. In the echoing halls of the ancient Foundry, the task of crafting treasures for the afterlife falls to you, a humble worker steeped in a tradition of Minoan metallurgy. The Minoans, a civilization rich in complexity and superstition, held a profound belief in an afterlife where the dead required tools and weapons to maintain their status. Each crafted artifact was more than mere metal. It was imbued with spiritual significance, a bridge between mortal toil and divine blessing. As you shape these eternal objects, you are not simply moulding bronze but casting destiny itself. A destiny shaped by the fervent desires of the elite for immortality. The demands of afterlife preparations were immense. Every piece required meticulous precision and skill, especially for the aristocracy, who insisted on flawless artifacts, reflecting their prestige even in death. Your role in this saga is indispensable, yet fraught with tension, where a single misstep could ruffle the delicate balance between life, death, and the supernatural. The task is grueling, from hauling precious copper and tin to meticulously shaping the incandescent bronze. Amidst the heat and sweat, the ominous spectre of perfection looms, as each imperfection portends ill for both the living and the dead. Ceremonial weapons held a revered status among the Minoans, more than just symbols of power. They were talismans infused with meaning. Rulers demanded that swords, daggers, and axes be engraved with intricate designs depicting deities, mythic creatures, and geometric wonders. These inscriptions were not merely decorative. They were narratives that bestowed might and mystery, transcending mere physicality. As you inscribe these stories into metal, every detail must capture the mythic grandeur, ensuring these symbols endure beyond temporal bounds. Your craftsmanship elevates you to a peculiar status. More than an artisan, you are a conduit of divine will, shaping symbols of eternal might from raw elements. With each beat of your heart and swing of your hammer, you perform a ritual that transcends the mundane. The heated embrace of the fire and the rhythmic clang of metal are symphonies of transformation, awakening the bronze to its potential. This alchemical process extends beyond physical creation to include spiritual undertones, each edge of a blade speaking of dominance and metaphysical strength expected from the afterlife. Working under the gaze of the elite, you become an unsuspecting architect of their vision of immortality. The opulence demanded is reflected in the tools intended to accompany them into eternity. While their desires are enshrined in gleaming bronze, Your reality is one of blistered hands and smoke-filled lungs, revealing a stark contrast between their enduring legacy and your ephemeral existence. Yet, even amidst this dichotomy, your labour transforms their dreams into manifest splendours, ensuring that their names endure through the ages. In the dim light of the Foundry, a profound sense of duty suffuses your work. Your crafted weapons, destined for the influential, are vessels of assurance. They are relics not just shaped by human endeavour, but divine mandates that promise power and status in the afterlife. This role as a bridge between earthly toil and spiritual reverence imbues you with a weighty responsibility, requiring an unyielding blend of skill and sacred respect. The daily labour soaked in sweat and urgency demands not only technical prowess but a keen awareness of the psychological weight that shadows the forge. An atmosphere of mysticism pervades the air, saturating every heartbeat with an enchantment matched only by the flames. The forge's rhythmic pulse mirrors the cadence of a ritual dance, incorporating the metaphysical with the tangible, suffusing each artifact with the symphony of meaning and invocation. Both the exalted and the humble acknowledge this mystical energy, beckoning favour upon their eternal visions. These ceremonial tools, forged with an enchanting aura, elevate the mundane craft into a dialogue between human hands and divine aspirations. The craftsmanship births profound questions about the interplay of human innovation and celestial design. Are these creations the result of divine orchestration or a testimony to human ingenuity? Your hands, calloused and skilled, create tools that defy the transience of mortality. In the shadow of the gods, yet led by human imperative, your work elevates into a tapestry of artistic and spiritual testament. Every polished surface becomes a mirror, reflecting the living behind the creation. As you labour to achieve the final gleam on a ceremonial blade, the reflection poses a silent query. Whose visage truly stares back? Is it the illustrious lineage commanding reverence? Or does it reveal the almost anonymous artisan whose hands breathed life into metal? Each artifact straddles the line between mortal vanity and a lasting plea for remembrance, captured eternally in its reflective surface. Your journey traverses the path between the mundane and supernatural, each creation a testament to this paradox. Every artifact resounds as a whisper on eternity's edge, yet your own tether remains fragile in the face of time's relentless flow. Amidst sweat and exertion, the allure of bronze beckons with the promise of permanence, weaving tales that span both the immediate and the infinite. Through the crucible of your craft, you shape whispers of immortal intent, serenading voids with a timeless ode. In this silent brilliance, your creations endure as wordless testaments to elegance and resilience. Each artifact, in its stillness, resounds with stories untold, compressing the vastness of historic aspiration into moments of artistry. As the embodiment of human triumph, these tools bridge realms, articulating a transcendence beyond life's finite crescendo, whispering the perpetual ode of the mortal spirit in pursuit of eternity. The end of the shift signals more than just a pause in labour. It is a moment when the unrelenting physical toll of the Foundry's demands becomes excruciatingly apparent. Workers don't leave simply exhausted. They emerge bearing wounds of 100 tasks, their skin marred by burns and their muscles strained beyond recovery. Hardly a hand among them is free of a scar or mangled by the misfortune of molten metal. These marks, a silent testimony to their struggles, become a part of their identity, a reflection of ceaseless toil and stubborn survival. glaring into relentless flames day after day, exacts a further price. Sight deteriorates rapidly, making even the most experienced artisans unreliable well before wisdom deserts them. Young men, barely in their third decade of life, often peer at the world through narrowing vision, their eyes stolen by the punishing brightness. As eyesight fails, their other senses hone, navigating a treacherous world by sound and touch. Loss of sight becomes accepted, an unremitting sacrifice in the relentless pursuit of livelihood. Daily life in this grueling realm demands a resilience as unyielding as the metal they forge. Rising with the dawn, these workers are thrust back into an unwavering cycle governed by smoke and flame, where rest is but an illusion. Each day test fortitude not just of the body, but the spirit, fostering a camaraderie among those who toil in silent suffering. This shared struggle forms the fabric of their lives, weaving tales of endurance that provide warmth against the harsh reality of their existence. Away from the furnace, they retreat to homes cooled by weariness and warmed occasionally by hard-won morsels. Their comforts lie in simple things: a piece of bread tough as their calloused hands, a sip of oil too valuable to squander. In such scarcity, even the smallest luxuries, a carved stone, a polished trinket, hold profound worth, treasured as glimpses into worlds untainted by labour. Gratitude often replaces bitterness as each dawn promises another chance to contribute, to mould a life shaped under pressure and heat. Amidst this cycle of hardship, bonds crucial to survival form in the crucible of adversity. Despite fierce competition for positions, a brotherhood emerges, solidified not by words, but by shared experience and silent understanding. Apprentices enter this kinship, learning to navigate both the trade and the unwritten code of loyalty. Elders, though burdened by their own lot, impart knowledge as gifts precious as life itself. Yet outside the inferno lies a world that casts Foundry workers in shadow, recognizing their creations but not their creators. The sulphur scent clings to them, marking them out, and societal scorn follows. A bitter irony for those who shape tools for both devotion and destruction. Their children too bear such burdens, yet wear them as armour. In the spaces where disdain wraps itself in ignorance, these craftsmen find a steadfast identity, vital yet marginalised. Despite the heat's dominion, women, though largely unacknowledged, are just as integral to the Foundry. Whether moulding clay or tending fires, their silent power sustains the relentless operations that define the Foundry's life. Their work, often unsung, ensures continuity, and when necessity calls, they step into roles myth insists they cannot fulfill, challenging conventional gender norms and slowly rewriting perceptions with their presence. Misfortunes within the Foundry unfold like grim tales where tragedy intertwines with irony. A single misstep, an unwary moment, and lives are claimed by the bronze or the fire. Stories pass through generations, wrapping history in layers of legendary caution. Workers spend days on grand weapons destined never to see battle, buried with their noble owners, a testament to labour lost beneath the earth. Such ironies immortalise these labourers, remembered not in annals but in the lore of their kin. Though often unnamed, the legacy of those bending metal into form lingers within each intricate piece that survives them. These artisans, wrapped in an invisibility cloak of time, leave behind a testament of skill and determination. Their imprint exists not in words on a page, but in the vivid artistry of endless relics that speak volumes of their hands that laboured unseen. As generations pass, the Foundry's call persists, drawing sons and occasionally daughters into its heat. Yet, with time comes change. New methods whisper in the old ways, pushing the boundaries of tradition, even as new apprentices await their turn. This delicate balance between legacy and innovation continues the age-old dance, ensuring that the stories of old merge seamlessly with the dreams of the new. Some stories, however, diverge from the paths laid by molten metal. For those stepping beyond familiar fires, there lies the task of redefining themselves. To leave the Foundry is not just a step away, but to unravel its influence from soul and sinew, to forge beautifully new paths from old flames. Such transformations remind us that even as the Foundry shapes bronze and men, there exists life beyond, a continuing journey into light and possibility. The shift ends, but its echoes linger within the confines of your weary bones. Each stride away from the Foundry carries the heavy resonance of hammers, not just in memory, but as an indelible part of your existence. The putrid smell of smoke still clings to skin and clothes, an unseen mark of the battle fought daily against ore and fire. In the dead of night, when all should be calm, the rhythmic pounding invades the solitude, the relentless beat of a past that refuses to fade, binding you forever to the forge's fiery heart. Daily toil merges seamlessly into one indistinct continuum of hardship and creation. Seeds of your aspirations scatter like ash in the wind, lost to the consuming flames. Each artifact forged in this crucible is a testament to a lineage unrecorded but woven into the fabric of history. Your hands transmute raw earth into enduring icons of power and prestige. Yet paradoxically, your identity dissolves, unnamed and uncelebrated. As the bronze assumes its place in the world's story, the fruits of your labour, bronze blades and tools, outlive their makers. They become immortal vessels of history, tracing long-departed heroes and forgotten battles, while the creators slip silently into oblivion. These relics, thus central to power and sanctity, outshine their progenitors in history's grand tapestry. You, the artisan, whose sweat and fortitude craft emblems of eternity, find your existence eroded, becoming mere whispers on the winds. In the shadows beneath lumbering structures and clanging tools, your narrative unfolds, a legacy that, though unrecorded in stone or ink, remains etched in the oral traditions that honour craftsmen like you. This unacknowledged lineage is passed down through generations, the wisdom of your unseen contributions resonating amongst the stories of unsung artisans. In this underground brotherhood, you find solace. The shared experiences in the forge an unspoken bond, filled with tales of struggles and transcendence. The eternal flame that births each piece exacts a heavy toll. Every flame-hot day strips away at your soul as surely as wind lashes stone, its price measured in burn scars and aching limbs, in the silent currency of sacrifice. This pact, whether entered willingly or unwittingly, holds you suspended in time, captive to the forge. Nursing invisible wounds after every grueling shift, you grapple with the knowledge that each sacrifice honours an ancient tradition, yet tears at the fabric of your being. Outside the searing confines of the Foundry lies a world where your work's impact ripples unnoticed. Tools and artistry born from the inferno find homes in markets, dwellings, and hallowed temples. A paradox emerges. Integral to civilization, yet you remain invisible, working at society's periphery. It is a shared existence, not of recognition but of survival, where the quiet understanding of your place in a greater narrative will soften the bracing solitude. Under hammers wielded in endless repetition, your craftsmanship becomes a language, silent, yet rich in expression. Each shaped artifact tells a story beyond words, an eloquent narrative of dedication and precision that imbues cold metal with warmth and purpose. This journey becomes a meditation on existence. Your silent resilience, mirrored in each artifact, transformed from raw material to refined art, leaving an indelible mark upon time through your persistent artistry. Unavoidably, the time will come when your presence in the Foundry ceases. Whether by choice or fate, your departure remains largely unnoticed, a brief disruption swallowed by the constant rhythm of bronze production. Life beyond the blaze offers few more comforts than those within. Another craftsman grounded by years' weight, bearing little more than half-remembered stories and truths told on whispered breaths into the quiet night. Your name may fade quickly, yet the legacy continues within a larger chorus of countless voices shaping this ancient craft. Time, with its relentless forward thrust, reclaims all, yet your legacy rests intertwined with the bronze kissed by fire. As your name dissolves from history's view, your spirit finds a home within the objects that testify to your passage. These silent witnesses, unearthed by the passing ages, lift their voices in testament to your dedication, whispering tales of your labour and undying spirit. Over endless cycles, their stories are reborn, carried anew, as the artefacts that hold the essence left behind rise once more to consciousness. Though no monument bears your name, the work of your hands stands testament to your existence. Weapons, tools, and sacred symbols form the world's fabric through echoes of clanging metal, each faithfully reflecting the industry of its maker. These creations, in their enduring grace, far surpass the lifespan of their nameless creators, casting shadows in which your presence subtly, profoundly persists. Immortality does not require monuments, for it resides in the stories that objects tell and the unseen influence upon those who come after. Through labour and toil, you have woven yourself into life's texture, shaping derivatives that stand against time. Though history's gaze passes without pause, your contributions form strands within an ancient civilization's tapestry, an enduring heritage that survives. Remembered in your deeds, your presence echoes across millennia, and your voice in bronze leaves a harmonic in the midst of silence. As you find yourself immersed in these stories of the past, let their silent voices accompany you further into history's labyrinth. If the journey has resonated with you, take a moment to like this narrative and subscribe for more tales that bridge the epochs.